What's going on, everybody? God bless, God bless. So tonight I'm here with a gentleman by the name of Stephen Small. He is a pillar in the community. He's also someone that I met within the last couple years. I've known you for a couple years now. We sort of work together. He's a owner-operator of a trucking company, and I work as shipping and receiving for the company, one of the companies that he picks up and delivers for. So I brought him on today's show because not just of the fact that he's a pillar in the community, but he has a story, a tremendous story of, hope. He has a tremendous story of showing that no matter what goes on in your life, no matter what you've been through in your life, that at the end of the day, God had a plan, God had a purpose for you, and this man could have gave up a long time ago, and he chose to not give up. He was given a vision and he went with it, and now not only is he an owner-operator of, 3 trucking companies?
Two. And, part owner and director of another one.
Okay. And leader of different organizations, affiliated with different organizations, and he'll speak more on that. So thank you, Mr. Small, for being here tonight.
You're welcome.
Again, I'm honored that you're actually here.
I'm honored to be here. Really am.
I'm not, and that's rare for me. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't get really touched by people's stories or their journeys because I've watched so many.
Exactly.
But to see you and where you're at, and the fact that I do know you more personally on a daily basis, you could say, I thought, what other person would I have on the show, that's sort of affiliated to my business, or the business that I work for, So that being said, this, like I tell everybody, this is your show. Tell us your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you started, and then we'll go from there.
Well, first of all, I like to thank God for being the God that He is. For saving me, because I've been in some things that only God could have gotten me out. I like to thank you, for having me on your show, and everybody that's affiliated with this show. Thank you, for the opportunity to just come and say, to share some hope, to share a little hope. It's not as bad as it seems. No matter what kind of situation I've been in, it always seems as though there was a ray of hope for me to get out of that situation, but I had to believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had to surrender. And that's a tough word. You know what I mean? I mean, if you really know the meaning of the word surrender means where you just throw your hands up and say, I can't do this anymore. I can't get out of what I'm in by myself. Right. I need a power greater than me. Power is greater than me to help me to come back to reality, sanity, whatever word you want to use, but to help you get back to where you should be.
Right.
I remember a story, and I'm a part of some recovery groups. I don't want to mention the name, for anonymity reasons. But and some of the groups that I've been in, where we say that where you come from, you see some people that are happy. I did this today and I did that today. You hear people's testimonies, and I sometimes I would look at it. I would say, you know what? I would think to myself, I didn't want to embarrass anybody, but I would say, we're only doing what we're supposed to be doing. I'm not doing anything special. I'm only doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Helping people. You know what I mean? Trying to better myself. Trying to help people better themselves. One of the things that we do at Small Transportation, and that we've done, is that we try to employ people that other people won't employ. Well, what do you mean by that, Brother Small? Well, hiring people with no experience. Okay. Let's start there. No experience in the trucking industry. No experience in a job. They come to fill out an application. They don't even know how. They come for an interview and they got on pants with the pants hanging down their butt. You know, you look at that like, yo, dude, this is an interview. But again, instead of criticizing, we teach.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And it would have been easy. Don't get me wrong. You pull your pants up. You know, but listen. Let me show you how to do it. You know, we try to do that. I have suffered major financial losses as a result of hiring people where other people wouldn't hire, because that's why other people wouldn't hire, because they didn't want to take the losses that they were going to probably take. But I look at it like this: somebody has to do it. If more people would take the initiative to hire people less fortunate, not exactly the typical protocol, you know, typical candidate, I think we would do a lot of progress as far as some of the things that's going on in the street. Which, example, if people don't have anything to do, what are they going to do? So we try at Small Transportation to hire people. Number one, no experience. Number two, here's a big one: ex-offenders, people that have been in trouble, that have been incarcerated, that have been convicted of crimes, but have a sincere, and this is the key, if you come to us, you got to have a sincere desire to get yourself together. That's one of my favorite sayings: get yourself together. Right. You got to have a sincere desire to get yourself together. If you have that desire, and I think I have a gift that God has given me to be able to recognize a person that has that desire, because I had it, and I know what it looks like. You had it, you know what it looks like. So people like us, we can recognize a person that has a sincere desire to get themselves together, and now we got to invoke ourselves to help them. We got to be willing to take whatever comes our way to see that somebody else better themselves. There have been people that came to us that we've trained, that have went on to have their, not only work for us and be successful, but get their own business, get their own trucks, you know, and are gainfully employed. And that's where the satisfaction comes in at, where you can see where you have taken someone and helped them to get in a better place than they were. I've had people come in my office and cry that they're so happy that they're actually working. When a grown man or a grown woman comes in your office and cries, saying how happy they are to have a job, man, that's special. You know, you got to be a real cold-hearted person not to feel any kind of compassion and when that happens.
Well, let's take it, not to cut you off, but let's take it back a little bit. All right, so talking about small transportation, let's and it's not to dwell on it, but why your heart is like that? Why are you, you know, you have a compassion for ex-offenders? For
why? Yeah. Well, because I'm an ex-offender. Okay. You know what I mean? Listen, drugs took me to places that I never thought I would go. I was addicted to cocaine. I was addicted to marijuana. I was addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to the lifestyle. You know, I was so addicted that I was addicted to being addicted. You know what I mean? And I used to do things that was illegal to get myself in trouble. And once I got myself in trouble, I was like, no, I know I'm better than this. I just know I'm better than this. But like I told you before, it took a higher power to make me realize that, you can do better. Right. And not to mention, there was a lot of prayers going up for me, from different family members and different people. And God just had compassion. Cool. He's just a merciful God, because he saved a wretch like me. Cool. So it got in jail, got out of jail, and I said, I got a job, but I couldn't get a good job. I don't think you heard. I could not get a good job. Why? Because I had a record. Right. I had a record. Nobody wants to hire you. Nobody wants to. Yeah, sure. You have companies say, "Oh yeah, we hire ex-offenders." Check the percentages of that. When a company says that, check the percent. Do you really hire ex-offenders, or are you in it for the grant money that right. you can get from different? I ain't got a dime grant money from nobody. Right. Let me say that, because my whole objective was to hire people and help them from my heart, not for any monetary gains, not for any political gains. I just wanted to help people, because a lot of doors were shut in my face because I had a record. A lot of doors. So I prayed and asked God, after I got fired from a job for wanting more out of my job. And my boss he was just satisfied for where he was at financially. But I wanted more. And he thought I was a threat to him. And okay, that was his opinion. I respected that. So he told me, he said he think I could do better by myself. So I prayed. And God blessed me with the ability to go get a truck. And that's how it all started, because doors were shut in my face. I wanted to be a beacon of light to a person that had a record that wanted a job. And that's how it took off.
Ultimately, his disdain for you
was a blessing.
Ended up
was
being
a blessing in disguise.
And typically that's how it is.
Yes,
men like us that we come from different backgrounds that we're not a part of today, you know, those were not blessings at that time, but they ultimately became a blessing because they motivated us to go ahead and do something more positive later on. You know what I'm saying? We learned, we were able to learn from our mistakes. We were able to go ahead and use what we did back then and be productive today. And I mean, in your case, I mean, you're a part of so many different organizations. You know, the one that truly gets me is, of course, that prison.
The ex-offenders program.
Yeah.
You know, in Pennsylvania, you know, there's a lot of ex-offenders programs. Let me say, there's a lot of programs that are designed to help ex-offenders. So let's give all of them credit, all the ones that are accredited. But, you know, being part of an ex-offenders program, that's exactly what it means. It means that, and here's the biggest. There was a panel. I was on a panel one time where we were talking to people that were drug addicts and ex-offenders. And we were on a panel. There was all kinds of people on this panel, doctors and people with a whole bunch of commas behind their name.
Right.
I probably was the only one up there that didn't have a comma. The only comma I had behind my name was ex-offender. So, you know. And one lady stood up and said, well, which one of you people up there ever been incarcerated or on drugs? And everybody looked around and, well, would you stand up, whoever you are? And I was the only one that stood up. And the lady said, well, you're the one I want to listen to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you understand what I've been through. And you know what? That's what we are. We are people that have been through some things that can perhaps, that have been fortunate enough to be out of those things and doing what we should be doing, right? To be able to encourage someone else that, yeah, you can do it. You ain't always got to be let's say an ex-offender. You know, you could be a productive citizen. You can do the right thing. You know, society, it's tough when you've been convicted. You know that. It's tough. And society doesn't make it easy for you. It ain't society's fault. We got to put the blame on ourselves. We chose to take those, right. We chose to take those, do those things that caused us to be in that situation. Right. But we now can do better. You know, anybody can make a mistake. You know what I mean? So we got to, you know, try to help break that cycle of recidivism that is so rampant in our country today. And a lot of that is because people get out of prison, they don't have nothing to do, they can't get a job to support their family, a viable, gainful employment. And what do? Oftentimes, they result in the same type of behavior that got them locked up in the first place. And it's important that we as older men and women give back to the community, show them, communicate with them. Look, you can do it. Especially, look, the prisons are filled with young people, filled with them. People between the ages of 18 and 35, filled with them. And why? Because role modeling. That's something that we need to be more concerned about, being role models, good role models, effective communicators, willing to listen. One of your pet peeves, willing to listen to the younger people. People come in my office and I have to tell them, I listen to them, and then I teach.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because once you listen to them, that kind of opens up, that kind of brings down barriers between you and them. You know, well, this man's willing to listen to me. Now listen, I'm gonna listen to you, but you got to do it like this. You know, what you're doing is cool. You know, but you got to kind of tell that. You can't come to an interview, not matter whether it's here or anywhere else, with your pants hanging down. You know, you got to say yes sir and no sir. Here, this is how you fill out an application. This is how you do a resume. This is all stuff that we do at Small Transportation. It's all stuff I do personally. It's helping people with their taxes. bank accounts. There's something as simple as a bank account. Most young people that have been in situations such as such don't even have a bank account. Get a bank account. Get your license straight. This is stuff we should do. Now, at being a deacon of my church, people, when you're a deacon, people just kind of like depend on you. They kind of like look up to you.
Of course.
And you have to lead by example. That's things that I preach to my fellow deacons. You got to lead by example because we're being watched all the time. And just like anything else, when you're trying to do what's right, you're being watched. So you have to, how many people have gotten themselves in trouble as a result of not being conscious of their own activities? When you're in the forefront, and believe me, the evil powers in this world don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you fail. And knowing that you're trying to help other people succeed, you're really a target. So.
Now, when you talk about being a role model, I mean, that's taking a big step for a lot of people, and especially men of color. Black and brown men don't want to be that role model because they don't want to be, and I'm speaking more for myself. I can't speak in the mass, but it's hard to accept something like that because then you feel like, okay, if I step up to that plate and say that, then I become responsible for the mistakes as well as the good. You know what I'm saying? That these people want to make. And it tends to be that, back and forth. We look at society today. I never thought in a million years that I would come and someone would say to me, because of you, I'm doing this today. Because of you, I'm able to be a father to my kids. Because of you, I'm able to hold a steady job. Like I hear these things and I'm like, not because of me. And I try to push it off and say it's because of God, or it's because of this, it's because of your own will, your own determination. But in reality, we have to, like you said, we lead by example.
You said something that I want to touch on when you said the family thing. Sometimes in the position that you're in the position of that we're in, where we're trying to help others, we're trying to, and not just one or two people, but groups of people, classes of people, people that have been put in certain classes, like ex-offenders, like ex-drug addicts, no experience, those classes. When you're trying to help masses of people like that, it's important to be a mentor. And you're gonna have to mentor because a lot of people just don't understand. Like, for example, when you said being a father, my father wasn't what he's supposed to have been. Right. You know what I mean? He wasn't the greatest, and I love him dearly, and God bless his soul. But there was times where my father just wasn't there. Right. You know what I mean? And as a family man, I try to show my family love. I try to show my son, be a role model to my son first. Be a role model to my daughter, show her what a real man is supposed to be. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that she doesn't get false perceptions of what a man's supposed to be. And being a mentor, you sit people down in your office, you sit and talk to people in the church, and you say, and Brother Small, how can I do that? How can I do that? I said, well, first we got to be men. And you're not a man unless you take care of your family. And I don't condone deadbeat dads, and I will bring you up on it. I would say, listen, man, you got to take care of your kids. Because that's number one. They didn't ask to be here. So we have a lot of our people that aren't able to do that financially. And that's why it's important that once they start working, that they learn how to prioritize finances. And that's something else we teach, helping them, like I said, get bank accounts, showing them how to do their taxes, and just helping them with their finances. You'd be surprised at how many people come to you and say, well, how do I do this financially? How do I do that? Am I a financial genius? Absolutely not. Am I accounting? By no means. No, I'm not. But common sense, there's some things that's common sense that some people just don't have, about money, so you try to help them there, And again, like I told you before, when you help people that other people won't try to help, you put yourself at a risk of a lot of financial losses. Believe me, I've taken some. And that's why other people won't help them. Insurance. Let's talk about insurance. Because I hire people with no experience, because I hired people that are ex-offenders, ex-drug addicts, that have gotten themselves together now. That's the first thing you have to have in order for us to help you. That desire to get yourself together. Your insurance rates go up through the roof. I'm not talking about just go up, they go through the roof. Some insurances won't even insure you because of the kind of people. Insurance wants to dictate the type of people that you can hire. And that, again, hurts a lot of businesses that might want to hire you. But if the insurance dictates who they can hire, who you can hire, it kind of makes it very difficult for you to hire people like us that haven't been in the situations we've been in. So with this new legislation coming in, the new president, and congratulations, let me say to President Biden and coming into office, I'm hoping and praying that they will have an altruistic approach to people that have less fortunate backgrounds. And that they would maybe attack some of these regulations, insurance regulations, that hinder companies in the transportation industry from wanting to hire people with no experience, little experience, or troubled backgrounds. Okay. I'm just hoping that would just be so monumental to people trying to help other people in the transportation industry.
And honestly speaking, all right, and I'm one that I try not to get into politics too much with people because I don't want people to think it's choose this side versus that side, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, regardless of who we voted for, there's going to be one winner. You know what I'm saying? And we got to accept that.
We got to accept that. Whatever it is, you got to accept it.
And we have to make the best of it. So instead of debating, which I truly believe like a lot of people are doing that right now in this country.
Work together.
Exactly.
Work together.
Exactly.
You can accomplish more. No, you can accomplish more in numbers than anything. Just working together.
Right.
This is for the love of God. This is one of the things it says in our Constitution. It says, "In God we trust." You know what I mean? And God, this country is based upon biblical standards. And that means we should love one another. I want to talk about what I said, the violence that's going on. Black lives. Where Black Lives Matter, but what about black on black crimes? I really want to try to do whatever I can, and other people to do whatever we can to try to stop the black on black crimes. In the city I live in, Philadelphia, it's crazy, and I think a lot of can be done with organizations like yourself that go into the community and communicate with these young guys. Communicate that, look, listen to them. Why? What's going on? Be a part of what they're saying. Try to feel where they're coming from. And maybe that's an effective approach, and you've been doing quite good with it. That's an effective approach to trying to get people to understand. Right. You know what I mean? That you don't got to go around killing. Boundaries. You know what I mean? Boundaries. Teach them boundaries. Look, man, death is death. Right. Once you're killed, that's it. There's no more. Trying to get them to value life more.
A lot of people don't see that. I mean, like with everything that was going on with COVID in itself, then came with Floyd. Right. And that just went chaotic. That was adding like fuel to fire. But what people were failing to realize, even though, don't get me wrong, it was something that affected the whole country, just like COVID affected the world, that affected the whole country. But when you looked at the neighborhoods, the cities, and the areas that it was affecting most were the black neighborhoods, the brown neighborhoods, the minorities. And they were committing crimes amongst themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, they should have went into any other neighborhood. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that, there were so many people that I felt were, something needed to be said, something needed to be done. I truly believe, again, it's my opinion, that they went about it the wrong way. And they handled it wrong. You know what I'm saying? The riots, looting, like I've seen people recently, when that kid just got shot in Philly.
In Philly, Wallace.
Yeah. Immediately they went to the looting. A friend of mine went on live and he showed a little shopping plaza that they totally demolished.
Totally demolished.
Sneaker store.
Right. Yeah.
A black-owned sneaker store. You know, something that everybody in the hood goes to. Like we have them out here, where it's like, oh, that one store that has all the exclusive sneakers.
Well, sneakers
everything.
is something that, you know.
This man went ahead, started from scratch, tried to bring something back to the community. You know, provided jobs, took a vision that he had and a dream that he had, and yet they went ahead. You know, and I get it. You're upset. You're angry. But did you go about it the right way?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's the thing. We as role models, we as people that have gone through some things in our lives, and, you know, again, I'm never going to judge anybody because I would be the first one to tell everybody, who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? I've been through that. I've been through more things in my life than a lot of people have. So I'm not going to judge you because there was a root. There's a foundation as to why you're so angry, why you're going through the things you did. So let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, I look at people like yourself, you know, and I see the different organizations. I read an article that you did back in 2011 that I was
2014.
2014. I apologize. Where I get 2011? Is that when you came home?
No, that's when I was born.
Okay. We definitely would be having that conversation.
No, but no, 2014, no, that was when I started small transportation.
Okay.
Yeah, I started small transportation June 1st, 2014. And by the grace of God, it's been, 6 years,
Amen.
6.5 years almost. And like I said, by the grace of God, we never missed a payroll. You know what I mean? We've hired so many people. We've gone through so many people. It's a big turnover in this business, in the transportation industry, because sometimes God believes that grass is greener on the other side. Not only that, but you encourage people to do better. I'm just a stepping stone. We're just a stepping stone. We're to get you in the door, train you, get you in the right frame of mind, so that if you want to leave. I've had people say, "Oh, Brother Small, you've done so much for me. I hate to tell you that I'm going to leave." Listen, don't hate to tell me. If you're going to do better, you go ahead. Again, we've helped people get their own trucks. You know what I mean? And if you're going to be in the trucking industry, you should have your own truck. And especially if you got a record, because the UPSs, the FedExes, the United States Postal Services, the Walmarts, they're not going to hire you because you got a record, bro.
Oh no.
The Amazon, they're not going to hire you because they might say they will. And God bless them if there are some people they've hired for a record. I don't know all the details, but generally, if you got a record, companies just generally ain't going to hire you. So if you're in the transportation, you're in the trucking industry, you need to have your own truck. And we help people to do that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of your drivers, you know what I'm saying? So I know that's exactly, you're not the person that just talks about it, And what I love the most too is that you're right there. So when they talk about essential workers, and they talk about during all this COVID thing was going on,
we worked all the way through it.
All the way.
We worked all the way through it.
You
we took
worked
some
all the
risks.
way yourself.
I'm in the truck. I'm in and out of the truck myself.
Yeah.
We listen. The country still keeps rolling. There's people that have given truckers credit, trucking companies, transportation companies credit. But we're right there. We're right in it. We've been in it from day one. So, and we're still in it. We take some great risks. Fortunately, the transportation industry, a lot of warehouses have taken some safety protocols that helps protect them and us.
Right.
We kudos to them. But we're there. We've been there from the beginning. So.
And that's amazing. And you were on the front line in the military.
Yeah.
And from what I've read on the story, things you've done in the military, that's amazing. And now you're on the front line out as an essential worker.
And I was on the front line when I was getting high. You know what I mean? I was on the front line when I was out there doing the dangerous things that I was doing. I was on the front line. So I'm not unfamiliar with being on the front line. But let's be on the front line for God. Amen. Let's be on the front line for something positive. Let's help others get on that front line. I think that one of the best things we can do to help curb some of this violence in this country is to teach the young people, is to communicate to the young people. Give them an opportunity. Let them feel some self-worth. There's a lot of young black men of color, walking around streets today that don't have that self-confidence because they was never taught it, but they didn't have that father figure. They were never given an opportunity. They end up getting in jail, and then when they get out of jail, they really ain't got no opportunity. You always hear people talk about recidivism. You know what I mean? How people just get out of jail and go right back. Get out of jail and go right back. Well, if they get out of jail and we can catch them right there and train them and teach them and show them love that maybe they never have experienced before, maybe, just maybe we can begin to make a dent in this recidivism. Maybe we can begin to make a dent in all these people killing each other. I just dream of a world where we all working together, black, white, blue, green, whatever, yellow, whatever you are, that we working together and we stopping the violence. We communicating with our young people. Just because you hear sometimes, I hear some people say, look, I'm done with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that money anymore. I'm out of that lifestyle. Okay, that's good. And if that's what you want to be, that's good. But it's even better if you're out of that lifestyle, but you want to go back in and reach back in and help somebody else come out of that lifestyle. That's even better. I like to thank you again. I like to thank the organization for what you guys are doing, because you inspired me. When I see you and how you talk about your organization, talk about what you're doing, and how your stuff is online and your different conventions and stuff that you have, that's great stuff, man. Keep that up. That's we need more of that. We need more of that. And just having me here is more inspiration for me to go back out and help somebody else. Right. Come on, man, you want to learn how to drive a truck? Come on, I'll teach you. And I've done that. And women too, a lot of people shy away from women. But I've had 2 or 3 women to come through and learn how to drive, and it's just beautiful, having people in the office, working in the office that never worked in the office before, showing them how to do customer service. It's beautiful. My kids, they work for the company as well. They come in the summer and make my sons do maintenance stuff. My nephews, I've had nephews coming, and listen, it's a family thing, and it's a love thing. Anybody that we can help, we're willing to do it. I like to thank some people. Is that okay?
Of course. We're not done yet, but go ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Pastor Christopher Reese, who's the pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Waterbury, Connecticut. I'd like to thank him because he has really given me some inspiration to do some positive things. I'd like to thank my present pastor, Pastor Daniel Jackson of New Kingdom Baptist Church, for what he's done. Deacon Moore from Mount Olive Baptist Church, he trained me to be a deacon. He saw something in me that, and he took it and ran with it. And I thank him. Deacon Lowry and Deacon Sproul, these are all my fellow deacons that encourage me constantly to, come up and help out at the trucking company and just to help out, to keep things going so we can keep helping people. But, like I said, first and foremost, we thank God. Amen. You know what I mean, for giving us the opportunity.
It's something. You said the first person you mentioned is from Waterbury, Connecticut. It's amazing. Waterbury is one of the places that I've been to a couple times.
Have you met Pastor Reed?
No, I haven't, okay. And I'm definitely have to check out with him. I have an event coming up there in Waterbury soon. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the permit to clear, but because of COVID, but we do have an event. That's one of the places that we're going to be stopping.
I will be there, brother. You just let me know.
And that's Waterbury's one of those areas that are real bad. The first time I went to speak there, I spoke at an organization, an after-school program for these kids, and Rivera Memorial Foundation, great organization out there. It's crazy. Like, I go to these cities, and like I tell everybody, I just don't come and speak at your city. I'm not going to be there for a couple hours and then walk away and that's it. I try to get there a day before. I go to the worst parts of the city. I walk the streets. I want to know what's going on. That's a big thing for me. And it's a big thing with my organization that we do is, first and foremost, like you said, I'm a man of God. None of this would be possible without God leading the way. And what I do is, because of God, I take it outside of the church. I take it outside the 4 walls. I mean, my life was the streets. So just because I, accepted God into my life and accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, doesn't mean that I'm going to forget about the streets. I want other people to see that. I want other people to see, what was given to me. So I do that, and I did that in Waterbury. Waterbury is one of those places. It reminded me so much of Philadelphia off of Kensington. They had an average, and this is getting into statistics, over 800 overdoses a week when I was there. It was so bad. Gang violence, car thefts, things like that. So, people were telling me all these things. And so I when I spoke to the kids, I kind of like grew an attachment to these kids. So that being said, I mean, that's one of the things that I do. And I appreciate you giving me the accolades. Thank you. Thank you for what you said. Again, I just do what God has blessed me to do, I have a platform, so now I try to bring awareness to it, and I try to give accolades the same way you gave it to me. I try to give it back to the people that I know are doing something. And that's what this show's about. This right here is, not just to give you an understanding, in 3 different age groups, but so that people can actually see, like, yo, this man went through some things in his life. He served his country. Don't get it wrong. But he wasn't born into the military. He didn't come out of his mother's womb saluting. You know what I'm saying? He went through some things as a child. He went through some things. You say yourself, your father wasn't in your life. And that 9 times out of 10, let's, call a spade a spade. That's usually what happens. We don't have those male role models in our life. Father might be there physically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he might not be there for, the way that a father should be. Same with the mother, vice versa. You have your mother in certain cases that she's just not there, and kids go through that. And then we try to find it out, as we get older, because we don't want, we feel as though, not because we are, but we feel as though we're not smart enough to go to college. Because this is what we were told growing up. You're not that smart. You're not going to make it. We don't have sports in our background, so you're not going to get a scholarship to play football. Not everybody's going to be a basketball player, football player. Not everybody's going to be a rapper or a singer. Not everybody's going to be an actor or an actress. And not to take anything away from those people, because they are role models. They are people that have been given a gift. But trust and believe, you have a gift as well. You know what I'm saying? You have a purpose, and you just have to find it. And for people that are like us, that came up like us, there's tens of thousands of people throughout this country that went through the same thing. And to this day, in their 40s, I didn't find my purpose until I was 46 years old. At 46 years old, and it took death. It took the loss of my brothers, for me to start to realize, like, there's got to be something. God, I don't know what it is you got me here for.
I've had that feeling.
And it's amazing, how immediately that I surrendered.
Surrender. Here's that word again.
That word, surrender. Because I surrendered, he put it in me. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, okay, now you're ready. And it's not going to be easy.
Right.
Nobody's saying that the day you decided to change your life, that it just automatically. I give you kudos to you, a lot of respect. You just said yourself, 2014, 6.5 years, and you've accomplished so much in 6.5 years. Well, that's not to say that everybody's going to do it. I've been home 3 years now. I accepted Jesus Christ in 4 years. October 27th, to be exact, it made 4 years. But I've only been home from prison for 3 years. And in 3.5. And then 3.5 years that I've been home, I've skyrocketed.
God has opened doors for you. Because you have that sincere desire. That sincere desire to do what's in your heart to do. And if what's in your heart to do is good, God is about everything that's good. It ain't no bad in God. So if it's something that you want to do that's good, and you trust God, He's going to direct you. He's going to guide you. He's going to put people in your life. He's going to make open doors that you didn't think could be open. He's going to make financial ways where you didn't think financial ways. He's going to bring people to you. That's right. That's the thing I like about God the most. He's going to bring people to you. Financially, it's tough. this COVID thing for transportation industries, period. We've been running, but the other doors have been shut. We've been losing a lot of, when this thing first hit, New York was the hot spot.
Right.
And 90% of my business was going to New York. So you know how hard that hit us at first. But he opened up other doors. People came and wanted to help. I just want to say to the person out there today that might be suffering from drugs, there's an answer. There's a way out. You don't have to be like that. Trust God. Get down on your knees, wherever you are right now, whatever your God might be. Get down and say, God, help me. If it's God, if it's Allah, whoever it is that you call God, He will help you. He will help get you out of the situation you're in. Don't be a statistic. Get a sincere desire to get yourself together. If you want to try to learn how to be in the transportation industry, you want to learn how to try to drive a truck, give me a call. My name is Small, Brother Small, 215-934-0987. 215-934-0987. We'll try to help you. We'll try to get you going in the right direction. If you're in prison or you know somebody that's in prison, tell them that they can do it. They can get out. They can be find gainful employment. Be viable. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of adversity that you're going to face. One of the things I say is that the true measure of your character, the true measure of your walk with God, is how well you deal with adversity.
Come on now. All right, so the deacon came out in you just now. I like that. Definitely, and that's something that you don't learn.
Right.
Honestly, I tell everybody all the time, you get caught up in the spirit. And that's within inside of you. And you can always tell when someone does it with their heart versus something that's
staged.
Yeah, exactly. Keyword. And you have that passion. I love the fact that every day when I do see you, you come into my office and you walk in and you got a catchphrase.
Yeah, it was all a dream.
There it is. I had to get you to say it at least one time on here. But it's the energy, that positive energy, And the funny thing is, that's just a phrase from a song, a Biggie song. You know what I'm saying? But it's a phrase that means a lot. It was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
And now you're walking in to a dream.
Living a dream.
Exactly.
You're living a dream.
Exactly.
And it's funny that you say that you brought up the song, but getting ourselves together. That's something that I say a lot. And people ask, you got to have positive energy. Man, if I was doing on all the bad things that happen, I don't know where I'd be. As far as motivation, I know I wouldn't have any.
Right.
Use the negative things that have happened in your life as motivation. What motivated me the most? When people said I couldn't do it.
Come on.
You can't do it. When people don't think that you can get out of prison and stay out of prison and do the right thing. And that sometimes your own family give up on you. You know what I mean? But that's motivation. Turn that into motivation. I have a brother that's going through that right now. You know what I mean? Where, and I'm telling him, he's really doing good. He's getting himself together. And I tell him, I said, use the negative energy and turn it into positive energy.
Yes, sir.
Well, people say you can't, prove them wrong. Not that you got to prove anything to anyone, but use that as energy to get to the next step. Motivation to get to the next step. We can do it, man. We don't have to go around killing each other. We don't have to go around committing crimes, but we got to find a better way.
Exactly.
And people like you are showing people a better way. That means so much to the community. If there was a lot of people like you, I know South Jersey would be a different place, and if we had a lot of people like you in Philly, I know there's people that's doing good things, and we give them credit. We need more. We need, especially people that have gotten to where they need to get to. Okay, you there, you where you need to be. It's easy to say, man, I ain't gonna have nothing to do with them people back there. Cool. I'm cool where I'm at. Are you really?
Exactly.
Are you really cool where you at? What would you rather have? Would you rather have a whole bunch of money and be unhappy? Or would you rather have a little bit of money knowing that you're helping other people and you can sleep at night? You know, I take the latter, you know.
You know, it's something I tell people all the time, especially when I speak at schools. I tell the kids all the time, you know, I'm honored, truly honored that I'm able to be here and speak to you guys. Not just because, you know, in school we got to be limited on speaking about spirituality, religion, and things like that. So I come in, I'm a motivational speaker. And I tell them I'm honored. I'm not the Eric Thomases of the world, you know. I'm not all these $1 million motivational speakers. But you know what? Inside, I'm a millionaire. Spiritually, I'm a millionaire because, you know, God afforded me the opportunity to come here and be able to speak to you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I know regardless, if you guys are just here to see some form of gangbanger or some form of drug addict, you know, come in here and tell you a story, you know, because it's something that like, wow, he's got a crazy story. If that's your reasoning, so be it. But I guarantee you, before you get up out the seat, there's a seed that was planted. You're going to remember of everything you heard. There's something that's going to be planted. Wow, I've gone through this. I'm going through this. And there's something that could change, you know. I look at people, I tell people all the time, look, people like yourself, people that I've watched, men that I know have, you know, started off, you know, whether it was the bottom for their bottom, or even just started off just with a vision, you know what I'm saying? And fought through it. They've gotten, they were spiritually broke. They were told, like you said, they can't do it. Nah, it ain't gonna happen for you. Well, you're a dreamer, blah, blah, blah. They made it. Why? Because they were dedicated. They didn't give up. They persevered. You know what I'm saying? We persevered when we was in them streets. We persevered to get that next one. You know what I'm saying? We persevered to try and, you know, do what we needed to do for that day. So when we decided to walk away from that life, that perseverance then left. It just changed up. Now we're persevering to do better. And then it becomes something to do, you know, for other people. You want to be able to give back. You know, the one thing that I learned in NA, you know, is that, you know, give back something that was freely given to yourself. You know,
you can only keep what you have
there
if you give it away.
There it is.
You know what I mean? If you give it away, you can only keep what you have.
Right.
And that, you know, when you really think about what you're saying there, you know, and because it keeps you in touch with what's going on too, and how easy it is for us to make one slip and be back in the same situation that we've been preaching about not being in. And that right there gives me motivation to continue to do what thus saith the Lord, to continue to do what's right, because I don't want to go back.
No.
I don't want to go back. And I want people out there to know that if you get that mentality, I don't want to go back, you know what I mean, then you're willing to do whatever it takes to not to go back, then you got the right frame of mind.
Right.
You know, gear yourself up for a battle, because it ain't going to be easy. There going to be doors shut in your face. There going to be people that ain't got no confidence in you. Sometimes people closest to you. You know what I mean? Because you done burnt so many bridges.
Right.
You know what I mean? People ain't going to believe you. You can't worry about what other people think. You have to do what's right. And if you do what's right, eventually, you continue to do what's right, eventually, you continue to do the right thing, eventually, those people that doubted you, those people that didn't have any confidence in you because you never showed them any reason to have any confidence in you, will begin to see that change. And once they see that change, some people will start to come around. There are going to be some people that ain't never going to come around, okay? But that's okay, because it ain't their fault, it's your fault. So just do what you need to do for yourself, and things will eventually work themselves out. And one of the things is just being gainfully employed. There's a bunch of trucking companies that I'm familiar with that also, you know, will give you an opportunity. That's why we have a little resources when it comes to jobs. Give us a call. You know what I mean? We'll find somewhere to put you. You know, we'll find something to do with you. You know, anything to help. You know, so just give us a call. You got the number. And then I'm sure you'll have it for anybody give your organization a call. We love to be a part of helping people, man, because that's what's up. It's not about us anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's about the youth. It's
Right,
about
exactly.
people that ain't got nobody to help them.
And that's the thing, I go ahead and through my organization, I help with reentry. I always, when I say reentry, a lot of people automatically think they go veering towards ex-offenders only. No, I don't just go with ex-offenders. I go with ex-addicts, people that are coming reentry back into society, wherever you came from.
Wherever you
came from the streets, you came from a program, you came from jail, help you.
Help people, and people with no experience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's say that, and I said that at the beginning, but people with no experience, you'd be surprised how many people have never applied for a job. You'd be surprised how many people never had a job. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to apply for a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they are intimidated because they don't know how. Don't be intimidated. Give yourself a chance. There are people out here that will help you. Don't be intimidated. Call. Pick up the phone and call.
And that's definitely true. You know what? And I wish this was more of a, this will, like I told you earlier, this is going to air next week. We have an event coming up in Philly this weekend that I'll be a part of, Celebration of Life. It's in McPherson Park.
Oh my God! Yes, I know where that's at. You know what I mean?
There's so many people that I've met in that area. Not just in the park itself, but just in that area. I go to Kensington a lot.
And it's amazing that you say that because our church is in Kensington.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? We're at Masher and Cumberland. You know what I mean?
Okay.
2449 North Masher, right there between Cumberland and York. So, we're right there.
Wow.
And we have events. This is sort of like what you're having right there. Right in the hood. We've had cooking events where we just give away food. We've given away so much food during this COVID crisis. My pastor's really adamant about helping people in the community, and we've given away. The church has given away so much food, and not just that, but medical information and technology, things that they can do to help themselves.
Right.
We have a loving church like that, so I look forward to that. Like I told you, where you're going is right smack dead in the middle of a whole lot of stuff that's going on.
Ground zero.
But that community needs that.
Yeah.
These communities out here that are drug infested, these communities out here that are violent infected. I think that if we get more visual out in the community,
right?
That it's only going to have a positive effect. I can't see it having a negative effect. And right now, we need all the positive effects we can get.
And I say that, and it's not to take anything, and please, a lot of ministries that end up always think I'm being offensive to it. People need to actually bring it to the streets. It's one thing, there's people saved in the church. They're in the church. They're there.
I like this guy. He's a real good guy because what you just said, I preach the same thing in my church. And this is what I say. I bring it down to this right here. If Jesus came back unannounced today, where would he go? Would he be sitting in the pulpit in some mega church?
No.
Would he be sitting in the White House talking to the president? Will he be sitting talking to the military advisors? You know what I mean? Would he have a congregation of other preachers and ministers and he talking to them? No, that's not where he's going. I don't believe that's where he's going. You know where I think he's going? Out in the streets to save souls.
Exactly.
That's going to be his whole mission, to save as many people as he can. And I said unannounced because the Bible says predicts some other things that's going to happen.
Right.
But I said unannounced. I believe that that's where he would be. He would be out there preaching, teaching, and saving souls.
And that's the thing, like, you got to think about it. I mean, everywhere in the Bible it says that's what he did. One of the biggest parables that he spoke about was the 99 sheep versus the one.
Right.
Exactly. If you want to take that parable and use it in today's society, the 99 sheep are inside the church. That one is on them street corners. Whether it's addicted to drugs, whether it's selling drugs, whether it's being pimped or pimping. You know what I'm saying? That's the one, the lost. Don't feel, Melvin, don't feel like
what you're saying about the churches that they should get out more. And that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be more involved in the community. We should be more visible in the community. We should be out saving souls on the. Okay, it's nice to sit up in church on Sunday with your nice suit on and looking good and everybody all comfortable in the air. Yeah, but is that what it's really about?
Right.
Is that what it's really about? Okay, that's good. But what are we doing to help the community? A lot of churches don't even know the community that they're in. The church is in the community, you know what I mean? But they ain't in the community.
Right.
You know, they come from South Jersey, they come from different places, not to just single out one particular, but they come from real good backgrounds, and their church might be in a situation where, in a neighborhood which really needs their help. Right. That's not true for everybody, but you know, there's enough of it to go around. We really need to be more visual in our community, and I thank my pastor Jackson, because he believes in that. We're all from the hood, we're all from down El Sagan there, you know. But getting involved in the community is good. It gives you pleasure when you're out there in the community.
It definitely makes me feel good.
It makes me feel good. We go out to feed the homeless. You know, I love crabs, and if anybody that knows me will tell you that I love crabs, and I cook big crab feasts maybe 2-3 times a year. Right. You know, mostly during the summer. And a couple of times we had all these crabs, and we were left over. And my wife hates crabs. She loves me, but she hates the fact that I love crabs because she don't like it. Right. But she also knows that it's a lot of work, because afterwards, you know, it's cleanup. But anyway, to make a long story short, we had crabs left over, and we put them in with clamshells, 3 in a clamshell, corn on the cob, and some salad. And we stack them all up, and we go down and we give them out to people that are homeless. I had a homeless guy come up to me after we had gave him one. He said, "Brother, he eating on the crab." He said, "Brother, I just want to thank you." Well, don't thank me, brother. Just thank God. I'm the middleman. He said, "No, I want to thank you. This is the best meal I ever got." You know what I mean? And you know what? That makes you feel good. Yeah. You know, give back what God has freely given to you.
Amen. I'm gonna hold you. I need a crab platter.
No problem. In fact, I just polished them off today that we had cooked on Saturday. But I love crabs, and you know, I just love to get people together. You know what I mean? Right, we couldn't really do it this year because of what's going on in this pandemic. But we were able to cook some and give them out to people. People came and got a tray, a pan, or whatever. We were able to do that. You know, and that's something that we do.
Amen. And that's the thing, like a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, especially crabs, it's not like that's something cheap, you know? A lot of people, and like you said it, your wife said it, it's a lot of time, a lot of work behind it.
A lot of work.
So nobody wants to really do that, especially for people that they don't know. Right. You have to have a heart, you got to have a passion for it, you know? And I salute you, salute your family, you know, for having that heart. The ministry you're a part of, because it's, like I said, there's not a lot of ministries. They focus more on inside the church and the congregation that's in there than focusing what's on the outside, you know. And I really believe that, you know, you have to be out there. You have to, because this is what, you know, like you said, this is what society's going to see. These kids are going to see. People that are coming from prisons, coming from these drug programs, you know, the rate of recidivism is because they come back to the same exact thing. You're going to go back to it. So if all you see, like, perfect example, and I'm not going to put names out there, but I'm actually, you know, ministering to this young lady and her family right out of Philly, right there in North Philly. She, you know, is trying to change her life, doing real good, staying clean, but she's frustrated a lot because she has a record, you know, she has tattoos on her.
She can't find work.
Her mother's a true soldier. Her mother used to sit there and go out to McPherson Park, what they call Needle Park. Would go out there and look for her daughter, you know, and they're like, would find her, but bring her home and she'd be right back out there. But now she's changing. Now she's trying to do something better. And, you know, we talk on the phone. And it's a long distance thing. But it's people like you that I told her specifically. I have connections in every city that I go to, from Atlanta to Houston, Florida, you know, Connecticut, everywhere. there's always people that I meet that are doing stuff in the community, you know, and have, you know, if they don't have the resource, they have, you know, you can go here. I'm gonna show you where to go, and they'll try and help you as well. She's you know, going through it, but she's persevering.
One of my biggest dreams, you know, is to be able to financially to start a school that focuses on training people, not just the touch the surface training, you know, the get in the news saying I'm training you type of organization.
Right.
I'm talking about an organization that trains people that on masses of people, you know, like classes of people. I like to have maybe classes of 30 or 40 people learning how to drive trucks, classes of 25 to 30 people that's learning how to do administrative work, classes of 25 to 30 people that's learning how to do mechanical work where they don't need no grant from the government, where they don't have to pay. If you want to go to trucking school now, it costs you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. You know, and the only thing they teach you is that surface stuff enough for you to pass the test. I want to be able to have a test that really teaches them how to drive. Not just teaches them how to drive, but teaches them how to be adults, teaches them how to be responsible adults. You know, I just envision that. And I see all this money that the government gives to this and give that, give to this. But I would love to be able to spearhead, to direct an organization that just primarily, their whole focus on a daily basis is to take people from difficult backgrounds, whatever that difficulty might be, and train them to something to make them feel worthwhile in mass numbers, and then have the outlets to be able to gainfully employ them. And that means that you would have to have a school, you would have to have trucking companies, transportation companies, businesses that will be able to employ these people once you train them. You know, so it would kind of like be a great big organization where you come, you learn, and you work, and you take care of your family. And I believe it can be done. I believe with people pulling together, maybe the new administration coming in, they can see that maybe this is one of the answers to the violence that's going on in our street. You know, let's see what happens. You know, you out there, you want to be a part of it. Give me a call. You got some ideas on things that we can do? Give us a call. You know, like I said, one of the biggest things that we can do is to listen to what you got to say, and then maybe we can work together and we can accomplish some things.
Definitely. All right. So, Brother Smalls, with that being said, if you can once again let everybody know how to contact you.
Sure. Again, you have small transportation, you have NSI transportation, you have simple trucking. You got three, and we have a lot of other trucking companies that would be willing to help too. But if you want to get in touch with us, you got a problem with drugs, you got a problem being an ex-offender, you're trying to find work, you're trying to do the right thing. You know, if we can help, give us a call. 215-934-0987. Again, that's 215-934-0987. My name is Stephan. Small. You call me Brother Small. Everybody else does.
Come on now. All right. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you. Definitely. Yeah. So all that being said, definitely have the information. If for whatever reason you guys need to contact me, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and give you all the information once again. Everybody has all my information. This was truly a blessing. Definitely, I'm glad I had you on here today.
Well, thank you.
You know, we talk about it being hopeful. This is hope, you know, and people get an understanding. You know, not everybody always hears, you know, the good out of the bad. You know what I'm saying? They always just hear always the bad, and I'm trying to do something. No, you're not trying. You've accomplished things, you know, and you're showing. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a blessing. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. It's truly an honor, like always, to be here with you guys, to be able to, you know, be a light for you guys. So have a blessed night, and I'll see you next week.